Hey, back to the rock. Let's rock and roll.
Hi, this is Robert Plant.
Hello, this is Jimmy Page.
Hi, this is Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains.
This is Ozzy Osbourne.
Back to the rock of Southern California on 95.5.
The legendary KLOS.
Thank you, Jimmy Page. What a coincidence. We're going to be hearing more from you here in just a matter of moments. Gary Moore here, and as we promised, Christian Hand is here with another great session for you and your head of lead today.
I'll tell you what, it's much easier to be here at 3:30 in the afternoon than 8 o'clock in the morning.
You
with
think?
those clowns in the morning. Good Lord. I got a full night's sleep last night. All right, so we're going to celebrate the fact that this Saturday I'm going to do a swing house session in Atwater Village. I'm going to be doing Iron Zeppelin.
Yeah, I saw this. Now, what's up with that?
I'm going to do one Iron Maiden song and one Led Zeppelin song. So I tried to contract the names and make it clever. So I thought Led Zeppelin, Iron Zeppelin would be better. So I'm going to do Run to the Hills and something from the Zeppers. But today we're going to take a listen to this unbelievable track. I was never a fan of Zeppelin until I started breaking their songs down, and now I'm like, hey, you know what? I think there was something to these guys.
They might have been okay after all.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're Led Zeppelin, you fool. I know. So this is from, this is crazy. Do you know that they released Led Zeppelin 1 in January of 69 and Led Zeppelin 2 in October of 69?
I sure did.
They came out in the same year, Gary.
They're trying to pull like a CCR on us.
It's ridiculous. Like, how do you pull this up? Well, the way they pulled it off is they wrote a bunch of this stuff in rehearsal and on tour, and then they would just sort of drop into these recording studios and do these tracks. So, Ramble On from Zeppelin 2, 1969, the year I was born. And we're going to start by just letting, the madman Bonds have his say. So he starts with this thing, and there's a bunch of... There's differing reports as to what this is. Some people say it's sticks on a drum stool. Some say it sticks on the base of his shoes, and others say it's hands on a guitar case. This to me sounds like drumsticks on a drum stool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with. I was thinking about the hand thing, of course, because he did all those hand things.
With the bongos
on Moby Dick.
Yeah.
You know, when he did the famous drum solo that would go on like 20 minutes or so, and I saw him live do this in 75.
Did you really?
The famous, yeah, he would go on and he'd drop the sticks and he would play with his hands, and it was pretty amazing. But this sounds like
drumsticks on a
an
drum stool.
ex-drummer. Yeah, it sounds like sticks, yeah.
Oh, you're an ex-drummer too?
Yeah.
Me too.
Failed extra.
No, you're never failing. As long as you played, you weren't failing. That's
I loved it. I really did.
It.
I was a big fan of Bonzo.
It's just I've always said the drummer's the most annoyed person in the band because we're still breaking the gear down while the rest of the band are getting drunk and hanging out with the chicks.
Exactly.
We're still like, I got a hi-hat stand left, guys. Anyone want to help me?
But we're the engine room.
We are.
Listen to bass guy. And speaking of, boy, there's a great line on this.
Oh, it's absurdly good. So this is where he starts the kick. Ready? Bring it on, Bonds. Is there a heavier bass drum foot in rock and roll ever?
Yeah, and he was just he could really just hit the snare and all the drums with such ferocity, but it wasn't like he was using more of his wrist than he was his actual arms, according to what Jimmy had told me. It was more in the wrist action.
Yes, he's not like a Tommy Lee hitter. He's a Bono hitter, you know?
He wasn't using the bicep, more the wrist.
And this conceit of just playing the sticks on the drums there. So when he comes back in again, this groove is just... I would never have picked this drum line in a million years. This snare thing like this, would you ever done that?
Yeah.
Never.
That's another reason why he was so great. And guys, musicians would know that, and drummers would pick up on that and say, you got to hear this guy. That's what made Bonzo.
So much groove.
I think it was a Ludwig set too that he was using.
Yes. And Carmine Appice loves telling the story about how he got Ludwig to endorse Bonham. He loves telling that story. It's one of his favorites. So this pocket is just... Nobody else could have done this.
And this is a juggy sound in New York City, I believe.
I could listen to this groove. And no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't play it with the same pocket. There's no way. Little double time action. Pounding.
Let's get into the end of this, yeah.
Yeah, just as he's smashing and
just
bashing
driving
away.
it out. Driving it, yeah.
And just the way that the clarity of those bass drum hits. All the same.
And so, like that, you know what John Paul Jones has got to be doing is just insane.
He decided that he would start with this. Melody. Then you hear it with this.
Oh, wow. To quote Eddie Kramer, Ramble On for me, that's all about the bass line. It's Jonesy again, such a talented musician. You can pinpoint certain things on the tracks. It's the whole band looking into each other's eyes, getting the result.
Yep, it's totally true.
Eddie Kramer, who engineered.
It's it's one of those drops down and then comes in on the chorus. We'll just put it in on its own here.
Ramble On. I think I've heard those. Yeah.
Right?
He had so many fine moments on this album, from the Lemon Song to this.
Oh yeah. Really underappreciated. I don't say that lightly. Like, people know that everyone in Zeppelin was a monolith, but I don't think people really understand this level of. And then back to the chorus again so we can hear it.
Eddie Kramer, you're right. It is all about the bass line.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like doing some rhyming.
Tribe Called Quest. This is your next hit. We've done it for you here at KLOS. This rock. And then back. And then we'll do the outro chorus where it goes double time. The hits with the bass drum, the boom, 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 so good. And then when it goes double time. It's like the Fat Albert theme, only shot through the prism of some drugged up rock white guys, right?
Right. In case you just joined us, we're doing a session with Christian Hand, and today it's Led Zeppelin's Ramble On.
Where John Paul Jones is earning a paycheck by the note. I can do more! Like, did you ever notice? I never noticed that rise before when it does this all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keeps it
Going on.
going.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
And again, this is Jimmy Page producing all of this,
Yes.
too. Don't forget that. Not only writing the music, but making sure that everything was produced and mic'd right. He experimented with distant miking, too, by the way, on this.
So there's a bass and drums, and then of course, if you're talking about Zeppers, the guitar department is nobody. There's no slouches in this band. So here's the acoustic.
Thinking that's Jimmy's Martin?
I don't know. I mean, he was a big fan of that guitar, that's for sure. And then when you just this. So much. How is that much melody going on with 2 tracks playing? You know?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
You can just listen to that. You know?
Yeah. I have. The jazz cigarettes help if you're doing that. So on the chorus, we get to this bit. So So let's listen to the chorus with the acoustics and the bass. This is these guys, man. Ready?
So far in the pocket already.
So far. All those little pushes. This alone is a phenomenal track. You haven't even added anything else, and you're already buying it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. There's no vocals, there's no electric guitar. You just got the 3 elements right there. And Jimmy, or actually, Eddie said that the Juggy Sound in New York was a very dense studio with a very tight room, and
you can hear it.
You get a sense of that.
Yeah, yeah, especially in the drum track.
Yeah.
Chorus. And now,
Yeah.
everyone's just in it, doing the snare pushes, and then they rock out for the bridge.
Right. Yeah, this is where Jimmy lays down some really nice guitar.
Oof, does he ever? We could get to that if you would like, Gary.
Sure.
Well, let's do it. All right, so
Robert's still busy writing all the Lords of the Rings lyrics
he's-
over there. He's still.
I think he's actually still reading Lord of the Rings at this point. I'm almost finished, chaps. Hold on. All right, so we've got the main meat of this thing. Little harmonic action. And then he comes rip snorting. So subtle. Right? No idea. And then he does these little swells when he was playing with his harmonics. So the harmonics are built up by 2 tracks. Is this one? Did you even know that's in there? You didn't.
No, I didn't. I'll be damned.
So then he does this over the top of it. He goes. That's his headphone feed. He does a little feedback action. And then he starts to do his magic.
That's really his headphones we can hear in the back.
Yep. And this is when you get this is really the...
That's the Les Paul that I believe that Joe Walsh sold him.
Is that the story? He got sold that?
Yeah, he sold him.
Changed the world. It's preposterous.
A little wah-wah action.
A little bit. It's crazy. You know that It Might Get Loud DVD. I always wondered why the Edge was involved in that, and it's not until you listen to these tracks you realize how much of the Edge is cribbed from. I mean, this is like Bullet the Blue Sky.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like all in there, clearly paying homage or homage. Even the tone. Then he comes out of it with this. And then a chorus. Incredible. Acoustic.
This was always one of my favorite tracks because of the marriage of the acoustic and the electric together.
It's almost one instrument.
ass Fender bass.
It's huge, right? But it's true. You can totally hear how tight this room is. There's no reflections at all. It's just like straight in the mic. The double time. So no Zeppelin track is complete, of course, without Bobby Plant doing his magic over the top, and this vocal is no. It's not a surprise.
And
Leaves are falling all around.
oh, listen to that.
Time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged
So quiet.
for such a pleasant stay. But now it's time for me to go. The autumn moon lights my way. For now I smell the rain, and with it pain, and it's heading my way. Sometimes I grow so tired. But I know I've got one thing I got to do. Ramble on. And now's the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going round the world, I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day. Ramble on. I gotta find the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spreading roots.
Like to be able to go from that scream to like this hushed, gorgeous thing is extraordinary.
Find the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spreading roots. The time has come to be gone. And though our health we drank 1,000 times, it's time to ramble on.
Right?
Ramble on! And now the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going round the world, I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day, I gotta ramble on. I gotta find the queen of all my dreams.
Little headphone bleed.
I ain't tell you no lie. Mine's a tale that can't be told. My freedom I hold dear. How years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air.
I love this bit.
Just in the darkest depths of Mordor, I met a girl so fair. But Gollum, the evil one, crept up and slipped away with her, yeah.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing I can do now. I guess I'll keep on rambling. I'm gonna, yeah. I gotta find my baby. I'm gonna ramble on. I'm gonna sing my song. I'm gonna work my way around the world, baby.
Like this screaming and key thing.
Do, my baby. Do, yeah. I gotta keep searching for my baby. I've gotta keep a searching for my baby.
And then this background.
Yeah. I
go.
can't stop this feeling in my heart. Every time I think about my baby, I think we got to part. Baby.
So much soul. Did you know that there was this much soul in Zeppelin?
My baby.
And at age 20,
That's crazy. Was he really 20 years old?
he wasn't even 21 yet.
No.
June of '69 is when I think this all dated.
That's incredible.
I listen to my bluebird.
It's a 20-year-old boy singing this.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, and nobody in the band is ancient. Let's not forget. I mean, the guys doing this track are all, nobody's 50 doing this. You know? So if you haven't dipped into the Zeppelin catalog, you got to.
It's for a lot of great reasons, obviously.
For a lot of great reasons. Rhino is actually just on a bunch of re-releases of their stuff, and they're all incredible. The remastering job is unbelievable. The clarity of the sound. If you have these albums from prior, you haven't actually, I don't think you've correctly heard them until you've checked out those masters. They're all available. Go on the iTunes and purchase them. I'd actually go out to Amoeba and get the records because the packaging is also
it's great to hold the big vinyl again too. And they had such a great relationship with Los Angeles too, recording Moby Dick and the Lemon Song over at Mystic Sound.
Oh, where was that?
Selma and Vine Street, and I'm not sure what's there now, but
probably a 7-Eleven.
And I think it could be
LA is
Selma and every time I go by Vine Street and Selma, I always look over there and kind of smile because that's where I believe Delphi Studios, and before that it was a bank. And there's a big vault downstairs, a big 16, the low ceiling 16 by 16 room. Chris Houston was the guy at Mystic Sound who had booked the sessions there. So they did the Lemon Song there, and they did Moby Dick there as well at Mystic.
They traveled the whole country for this record. They were recording them all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing. They weren't just like laying out, for like a month or two and hanging out in Malibu.
They were on tour.
Let's go in today. Yeah, they had to do this. They had to knock this stuff out. Exactly. We got a few hours to go in and knock this out. Let's do it. And that's the professionalism of the band, especially Jimmy and John Paul have been doing it with session musicians.
Forever.
And yes, that is the 59 Les Paul that Joe Walsh sold to Jimmy for $500.
Priceless at this point.
Absolutely.
Good investment there.
Cool.
Walshy, well done. All right, well, I hope that you have a much greater understanding. I tell you, I was never a fan of Zeppelin until I listened to these tracks, and then I was like, I missed the boat on this. I'm an idiot.
No.
And now I feel better about myself. I'm doing everything I can to help them. So pick up all of the Zeppelin catalog, but 1 and 2 are extraordinarily stacked with songs. You can't believe that these guys banged these 2 records out in the same year. So this Sunday, actually, on the session, at 9 p.m., myself and Mike Savage, we're doing Bob Seger's Hollywood Nights.
Right here on KLOS?
Yeah, all right, on KLOS here. And I'm telling you right now, it's a phenomenally well-spent hour, but the vocal on Hollywood Nights is unquestionably one of my favorite vocals of all time. You can't believe that a dude sang a vocal like that about a made-up relationship between some dude and Cheryl Tiegs. It's like stultifyingly incredible.
While he was living here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood for a while, yeah.
And the record had been finished, and he wrote that song, and they did it post the record being done and added it on later. So it's like a total surprise to everybody.
He's another pros too.
Pro. So thanks for checking it out. Listen, 9 p.m. this Sunday for the session, and you can catch me on the interwebs, Christian James Hand on Facebook, and also the CJH sessions. I've got a show this Saturday night at Swing House in Atwater Village. Well, I'll be doing Iron Zeppelin, which will be a Zeppelin song and an Iron Maiden song. If you want tickets to that, those are available on the ticket link at cjhsessions.com or on Facebook or on the KLOS site. So I hope to see you out there. And next week I'm going to come back, and Gary and I have decided that we might do some Ozzy Osbourne next week.
I think that sounds good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe a little Randy Rhoads action, absolutely.
If you want a guitar lesson, that's the way to do it.
Thank you, Christian Hand.
Thank you so much for having me in. I will see you next week.
You got it, brother. Thanks.